Welcome back. We are going to do Chapter 4, Grader Project for PowerPoint. To get started, let's go ahead and download our files. Go ahead and download materials. And for this particular assignment, we need your instructions. And we need the student file and the JPEG, the picture. Once again, do not click on the download all files. It downloads a zip file, and if you do not extract it properly, it will not save properly, and you will not upload it properly, and you will not get a good grade. All right, go ahead and click on your student file. And hit Enable Editing. Very first thing I would like you to do, come to the View tab. Put a check mark next to the ruler. That way we can see the rulers on both the side and on the top. For step one, it wants us to save this as a template. To do that, let's go to our File tab here. From our File tab, let's click on Save As. Go ahead and click on Browse. Just to stay consistent, let's go ahead and stay in the Downloads folder. So if you need to, click on the Downloads folder. Where it says Save As Type, let's change it from PowerPoint Presentation to PowerPoint Template. And let's change the name to your last name, underscore, first name, underscore, 4G, underscore, film, underscore, template. And hit save. And we are done with step number one. All right, now on step number two, it says in the slide master view on the basis slide master, we want to change the background style to 2. Let's go ahead and come to our View tab. Under our View tab, we want to click on Slide Master under Master Views. And once you click on Master View, we are now in our master template. So in this particular case, we want to find the basis slide master, which is actually the very top one. You actually have to scroll up to get to it. And if you hover over it, it says basis slide master. So anything that we change to this is going to automatically filter down to all of these different sub slides. So let's go ahead and click on this basis slide, the very top one, hover over it, it says basis slide master. And we want to change the background to style 2. We want to click on background styles. And we want to find style number 2. So here's style number 1. The second one over is style number 2. Go ahead and click on that. Now it wants us to format the background with a gradient fill. Let's go ahead and come back up here to our background styles, and come down here to Format Background. And when we click on Format Background, we're going to get our Format Background side pane here. And it wants a gradient fill, so we're going to put a little dot next to Gradient Fill. And under Gradient Fill, it says Linear Type. So where it says Type, make sure it says Linear. And we're going to position our gradient stop 2 at 25%. So if you come down here, we have our gradient stops. If you hover over this one, this is stop 1. We come to this one right here. This one is stop 2. So let's go ahead and click, hold, and let's drag that to 25%. And it wants us to take stop 3 and take it and make it 75%. So let's come over to the slide, gradient slide 3 here. Click and hold and drag it over to 75%. We're going to set the color to Aqua Accent 4, lighter 60%. So where it says color right here with the paint can spilling over, we're going to find where it says Aqua Accent 4, and we want lighter 60%. So it looks like it is the third one down under Aqua. And click on that, and click on Apply to All Slides. And that will make a change to all of our slides. All right, so moving on, step number 3, it says change the color of the first bullet to Aqua Accent 4, darker 50%. Go ahead and come to our Basis Slide Master where it says Edit Master Text Styles. We want to change. We're going to click on this content holder. We want to highlight just this first sentence right here, Edit Master Text Style. And we want to change the color of the first bullet. To do that, we're going to come to our Home tab. Under our Home tab, we're going to come to Paragraph. Right here, we're going to click on the down arrow next to Bullets. And we're going to go all the way down to Bullets and Numbering. And here we are going to change the color of the first bullet. So let's change our color. Let's click the down arrow. We're going to do Aqua. And we want to do Aqua darker 50%. So it's going to be the last one in this row, in this column right here. Aqua Accent 4, darker 50%. We'll click on that. And hit OK. And notice that because we highlighted this Edit Master Text Style, it only changed the first bullet to that aqua color. And we are done with step number 3. On step number 4, it wants us to click on the title and content layout. Let's come over here to our slide selector. Let's hover over it until we find the one that says title and content. This one right here is our title slide. That's not it. And right here, the third one down is our title and content layout. Go ahead and click on that particular slide, this third one down. And it wants us to insert a text box in the lower left corner of the content placeholder. And let's go to the Insert tab to insert a text box. From the Insert tab, we're going to come to the text grouping and we're going to click on Text Box. And notice after you click on Text Box, our icon our cursor has changed to, it looks like a little bit of a sword. And it wants it to the lower left corner of the content placeholder. So this right here is our content placeholder. And it says the lower left corner, which looks to be right about here. Go ahead and click once. And it will put a text box in for us, and it looks like we're able to type. So we're going to go ahead and move straight to step number 5 and start typing in Thompson Henderson Law Partners. When you type in Thompson Henderson Law Partners, make sure you capitalize the T, the H, the L, and the P. Once you've typed it in, go ahead and highlight that text. After you've highlighted the text, we want to change it to size 12 font. We're going to come up to our Home tab here. Under our Home tab, under our font grouping, let's change the font size from 18 to 12. We are also going to bold the text and center the text. So under the paragraph grouping, click on Center. And it'll center the text within that text box. And we are done with step number 5. All right, moving on. Step number 6. It says change the height of the text box to 0.5 and the width to 6. Notice at the bottom of step number 6, it wants us to remove and delete the footer placeholders on this slide. We're going to go ahead and do that now so they're out of the way for when we do our alignment on this Thompson Henderson Law Partners text box. So come down here to the bottom where we have the date, footer, and then this blank box here. Click on the outer border of the first box here, the first footer, and hit the delete key. Then come over to the footer box here. Go ahead and click on it. Click on the outer border and hit the delete key. And then lastly, come to this last text box down here at the bottom. Click on it. Click on the outer border and hit the delete key again. And that should remove all three of those footers from our slide. Now let's go back to our Thompson Henderson Law Partners. Go ahead and click on it. And now let's change it to what it wants us to change. It says we want to change the height of the text box to 0.5. To do that, we're going to come up here to our Drawing Tools Format tab. And over here under the size grouping, we're going to change this from 0.3 to 0.5. And it wants us to change the width from 2.8 to 6. And hit enter. And it's going to change the size of that text box for us. Now it wants us to use a shape fill. Once again, coming up here to our Drawing Tools Format tab. Under our shape styles, we have shape fill. Click the down arrow and we are going to select gradient with light variations. So let's go ahead and scroll all the way down here to light or gradient. Under light variations, find the one that says linear down, which is going to be the second one over, linear down. Click on that. Align the text box so that the center and bottom are center and bottom of the slide. Coming back up here to our Drawing Tools Format tab, under our Arrange group, click on Align, Center, and then click on Align, Bottom. And notice that it takes our text box and moves it down to the bottom. That's the reason why we deleted those footers first, is because this box would cover that footer and making it a little bit more difficult to delete. Lastly, it wants us to remove the header on the master handout, or the handout master, and then close master view. So we're going to come back up here to our slide master. We're going to come over here and click on close master view. After you close master view, we are going to come to our view tab. From the view tab under master views, we are going to click on handout master. Under handout master, we are going to remove the header. So uncheck right here under placeholders where it says header. Uncheck where it says header. And hit close master view. And we are done with step number 6. So step number 7, it wants us to insert the header and footer on the Notes and Handouts tab. So let's go to our Insert tab. From our Insert tab, we're going to come to our text grouping and click on Header Footer. We're going to select our Notes and Handouts. We want to do a date and time, so put a check mark next to date and time. We want it to be a fixed date and time, so let's click on Fixed. We want the page number, so make sure there's a check mark next to page number. In the footer box, put a check mark next to footer, and let's type in your last name, underscore your first name, underscore 4G, underscore film, underscore production. And make sure you capitalize the F and the P in film production. and then click Apply to All. And we are done with step number 7. On step number 8, it wants us to revise the document properties. To do that, go to the File tab. Under the File tab, go to Show All Properties. And the first thing it wants us to change is in the subject box, type in our course name. So right here under Subject, specify the subject. We're just going to type in CGS. And then in the tags, so let's find where it says Add a Tag. We're going to type in Film Production, all lowercase. And where it says Author, I'm going to scroll down where it says Author Go Series. Right click on Go Series and hit Remove Person. And then add an author. Let's go ahead and click on Add an Author and just put in your first name. Or you can put your first and last name, it doesn't matter. Just make sure your name is in the author box. And we are done. Let's hit the Save button here. Hit the Save button. And it wants us to close the template file. So hit the File tab, Close. Now it says in File Explorer, double click on the template to open a new presentation. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and close out of PowerPoint altogether. I'm just going to hit Close. Click on File Explorer. If you do not see your template file here under Downloads, check your Documents folder. Under Documents folder, check your Custom Office Templates. And here's mine under Documents Custom Office Templates. I'm going to go ahead and double click it to open it back up. And here it is. Here is my template file. It is now a presentation 1. So it created a new presentation from our template file. So when we're done with this, it will not save it as a template file. It will actually save it as a new presentation. So let's go ahead and save that now. We're going to go to the File tab. Click on Save As. Go down to Browse. And notice that a save type should now be a PowerPoint presentation. It should not say template. And we're going to change the file name to our last name, underscore first name, underscore 4G, underscore film, underscore production. And hit Save. And we are done with step number 8. All right, step number 9. It says on slide 1, after presented. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we're on slide number 1. And where it says presented to, let's click on presented to. Let's put our cursor right after presented to. So make sure your cursor is right here. We want to hit enter and type in University Film Production class. And once you've typed in University Film Production class, make sure it is spelled properly. Make sure you've capitalized the first letter of each word. And we are done with step number 9. Step number 10, in Slide Master View on the Title and Content Layout slide, we are going to change the first level bullets to hollow round bullets and then close the Master View. Let's come to our View tab. From our View tab, under Master Views, we're going to click on Slide Master. And it wants us to find the title and content layout. So it's if you scroll up, you have our basis slide, we have our title slide, And the third one down is our title and content layout slide. Go ahead and click on that. Notice, because earlier we changed it, we changed the first bullet to a aqua blue, darker 50%. Notice how it is still that color. But we're going to change it to just this slide. We want to change it to a hollow round bullet. Once again, highlight just this first row right here. Click to edit master's text styles. Highlight this row. Go to the Home tab. Under the Home tab, under the paragraph grouping, click the down arrow next to bullets and find the one that shows hollow round bullets. It looks like it's the second style over right here. Go ahead and click on that. Notice how it only changes this very first one. It doesn't change the rest of them because we didn't highlight them. Once we're done there, go back to our Slide Master tab and click Close Master View. And we are done with step number 10. Step number 11. On slide 4, let's come over here to our slide selector and select slide number 4. It wants us, after the third bulleted item, add a comment. So let's go down here to our third bulleted item, which is assist with formation. Let's put our cursor right after formation. And we want to add a comment. To do that, let's go to the Insert tab. From the Insert tab, under the Comments grouping, click on Comment. And we'll have our comment sidebar open up. And we're just going to type in define sole proprietorship, including the period. Make sure you get that period. Double check everything to make sure you spelled it correctly. And we are done with step number 11. All right, moving on. Step number 12, it says on slide 5. Notice how I left open this comment sidebar. I did not close it. That way we can add the next comment very easily. Let's click on slide number 5. On slide number 5, it wants us to add a comment where it says life rights. So let's put our cursor right after life rights. And we're going to come over here to our comments sidebar, click on new, and type in explain how this is intellectual property. And make sure you get that period in there. And then double check it real quick, make sure it's spelled correctly, explain how this is intellectual property, and make sure you have that period. And we are done with step number 12. We can close out of this sidebar right here. We can close out of this comment sidebar by clicking this X. On step number 13, it says on slide 2, use the thesaurus to change payment to compensation. Let's come over here to our slide selector, click on slide number 2. And it says preparation of contracts, negotiation of payment. We want to change payment to compensation. So right click on payment. When you right click on payment, hover over synonyms. And right there it is, compensation. Go ahead and click on compensation. And it should automatically change payment to compensation. And we're done with step number 13. On step number 14, it wants us to insert a picture. We're going to come to slide number 3. And it wants us to insert that picture that we downloaded, the film.jpg. We're going to go to our Insert tab. Under our Insert tab, we are going to click on Pictures. And we are going to navigate to our downloads folder. And here it is, our PO4 film picture. Click on that and hit insert. Once the picture's there, it wants us to crop to shape. Notice that we have our Picture Tools Format Contextual tab. Go ahead and make sure you're clicked on the Format tab. And over here to Size Grouping, we want to crop. We're going to click the down arrow next to crop, and we're going to crop to shape. And the shape that we want to crop to is a rectangle with diagonal corners rounded. We're going to go to Rectangles here and find the one that says Rounded Corners Diagonal. And here it is, rectangle, diagonal, corners, rounded. It's the last one under the rectangles. Go ahead and click on that. And notice how it will crop the picture to that shape. It wants us to change the shape height to 2.3. We'll come to the size group here. Change the height to 2.53. Hit enter. It wants us to align the picture to the right and middle of the content placeholder. We're going to come to the Arrange group here. Align. And we are aligning to the right. And we are aligning to the middle. So click on Align, Middle. And lastly, it wants us to recolor the picture to grayscale. Come up here to the Adjust group where it says Color. Under Recolor, find the one that says Grayscale, which is the second one over. Click on that. And we are done with step number 14. Next, it wants us to run the accessibility checker and add the alt text title to contracts. To do that, we're going to come to our Home tab. Under our Home tab, we want to check for issues. And we want to check for accessibility. Alright, so click on the missing alternate text. The new update to Microsoft Office has changed the way this feature works. We only have the add a description. So let's go ahead and click on add a description. And let's type in contracts. Unfortunately, when we upload this, it is going to mark us wrong for 8 points. However, I'm going to go through and I will update everybody's grade and add those 8 points in. So once you've typed in your contracts, go ahead and hit the X button. And go ahead and hit this X button here to close it. And we are done with step number 15. Alright, the last step wants us to mark the presentation as final. To do that, let's go to our File tab. Under File tab, we are going to click on Protect Presentation, and we are going to mark as final. And it will say this will be marked as final and saved. Go ahead and hit OK. And if this pops up right here, go ahead and hit OK again. And it should say marked as final. We are done. It automatically saved it. Go ahead and click out of our document. Let's go back to our where we started, where we downloaded our materials. We're going to exit out of this. Let's upload our file. So click Choose File. We saved it under Downloads. The problem is you want to make sure that we submit the right file. So to do that, we can come up here to our icons and we want to click on View. So this button right here, let's click on the down arrow and let's click on Details. And under Details, we can look and see when each file was modified. In this particular case, I want to find the presentation that I saved, and it's going to be with my last name. All right, it looks like mine ended up saving under the Documents folder. So here it is, Documents folder, read JSON. And notice right here it says it was last edited today at 11:54. And looking at the time, it is 11:55. So this is the file that I want to submit, the last one that we edited. So I'll click on that, hit open, upload, and then submit for grading. And I will close this assignment. Once again, I will add in the 8 points for everybody's step number 15, since the alt text title is no longer there. If you need to contact me through Canvas via email. And have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to the channel, as I'll be posting new walkthroughs and tech tips each week. Check back regularly for new content, and have a wonderful day.